What's up, friends? College essay guy here. Chances are if you're watching this, you've already started your college essay or application, but this video is still going to be useful, I promise. I want to share with you 3 things that you can expect in this process that you might not have been thinking about. I want to share with you 3 ways that I think students go wrong in this process, like mistakes they make so you don't have to make them, and then 3 practical ways that are going to save you some time and energy in this process. I'm even going to get into how to overcome procrastination, this coming from a former procrastinator. All right. First, let's talk about what can you expect in this process. Number 1, you can expect this process to take longer than you think it's going to take. This happens almost every year with most of the students that I work with. They think their personal statement's going to take like maybe a couple weeks, and then they're into like month 2 and they're like, wow, this actually takes longer than I thought. When you're writing your personal statement, aka your college essay, plan for it to take somewhere between 5 and 10 drafts. Now, that's not to say it has to, and if you're like a week before the deadline, okay, you can probably write an essay in 3 drafts. But the best essays, many of the ones that you'll find on the website, took at least 10 drafts. So, by the way, that's why they're so awesome.
This is the best thing ever.
But if you're thinking about your supplemental essays, which is your essays that you'll need to write for selective schools, besides your main Common App personal statement, even those are going to take somewhere between 3 to 5, maybe 6 drafts. I'm talking about the why this college essay or the diversity essay. And if you multiply that over several different essays, that's actually a lot of time. Your activities list, which is your brag sheet, your resume, that's not something that you're going to put together in like an hour. It's probably going to take a few hours. So what do you do about this? Budget accordingly. If you're watching this video and you've got some time, let's say it's the summer before your applications are due and you've got a few months away, I'd say, spend a few hours a week and actually go into your calendar and like figure out when are those hours that you're actually going to put in. The weekend, I think, is a great time to do this. If you're like 2 months away from the deadline, it's probably going to be more like 5 hours plus. You could do 1 hour a day, but I love it when students go, okay, during the weekend, I'm going to spend half a day focused on college apps. Just budget that accordingly. Oh, and if you're doing this like the week before the deadline, probably this is already your part-time job, so yeah. Number 2, at some point, you're probably going to compare yourself to someone else's process. And you're going to do that thing where you compare your worst to their best. And you're looking at them and you're going, wow, they're really far along, which may or may not be true. Or, wow, they really have some colleges that they love and that they can get into, which again, may or may not be true. When this happens, I want you to remember that I told you this. When you find yourself comparing your worst or your whatever to someone else's best, ask yourself, what can I control right now? So if, for example, you read someone's essay and you're like, it's amazing, what can you control right now? Well, you could literally start writing your essay right there, start working on it, or you could just make a note in your calendar to this Saturday spend, 2 hours working on your personal statement. So just so you remember this, I want to say, when you find yourself comparing, ask yourself, what can I control right now? You're comparing, what can I control? I'm comparing myself, what can I control? Connect those 2 things in your mind. The third thing is, at some point, something is probably going to go wrong, and just expect this to happen. And by wrong, I mean you're going to miss some deadline, or you're going to forget to ask your teacher or your counselor for something, and you're going to feel like it's the end of the world. Chances are it's not, okay? Ask yourself again, what can I do right now? Can I send an email? Can I make a phone call? Can I make a note to myself to do a particular thing later in the week? So again, something goes wrong. What's something that I can do right now about this? Focus on what you can control. All right, now here are 3 ways students go wrong in this process, or mistakes that I see them making. Number 1, sometimes students get married to an essay idea or a personal statement topic that basically has a ceiling that's too low. And what I mean by this is like the purpose of your personal statement is to demonstrate skills, qualities, values, and interests that you're going to bring with you to a college campus, and probably does it in a slightly uncommon way. But if you're writing on, let's say, football or violin or basketball, it could be that you demonstrate skills, qualities, values, and interests, but it's probably going to blend in with a lot of other students' essays if it's a common topic. So what do you do about it? Consider that right now is the best time to think about maybe choosing an alternate topic, because right now is when you're going to have the most time to basically work and revise that essay and get to that 5th or 6th or 7th draft. Below this video, I'll link to something that's going to share with you 7 different ways to brainstorm 7 different kinds of personal statement topic. And it's a great way to just shake up your brain and think about, okay, could there be some other way that maybe shows a little bit more about who I am? And if you're not really willing to commit to that, you're like, I can't write on a new topic, give me at least like 25 minutes, which is how long that video is, and just explore the possibility that there could be something in that video that actually enriches or makes stronger the essay that you're already writing. A second mistake that I see students make in this process is obsessing way too much over one particular part of their application. And usually where they're obsessing is the personal statement, aka the college essay. And they're usually fussing over like wording or having the perfect hook or grammar. But remember that the personal statement, the college essay, is just one aspect of the process. And in fact, it could be that the institution that you're applying to has, let's say, a supplemental essay that asks, why do you want to attend our institution? And in many cases, because I've talked to lots of admission officers over the years, that supplemental essay on why do you want to attend our school might be even more important for the school. So yes, great to work hard on your personal statement. It's probably going to take you a bunch of drafts, but that supplemental essay, don't sleep on it, okay? Make sure that you're spending time researching the school and in that essay, connecting it back to reasons why you're going to be a great fit for that school. Because chances are they're going to look at that really, really closely. So make sure you don't sleep on those supplemental essays. It could be that the reader is actually looking more closely at the supplemental essay than even the personal statement. The third mistake that I see students make all the time, and it causes them so much stress, is they define their success based on whether or not they get into a particular college or university. And oftentimes, just to add stress, that particular school has less than a 10% chance of acceptance, maybe even less than a 5% chance of acceptance. And they're going, if I get into that school, it was a successful process, and if I don't, I failed. Please do not do this. You're basically setting yourself up for disappointment. What you can do instead is broaden your college list so you've got 8 first choices, to name a particular book that I think is a really great title. Ask yourself, how can I find 8 schools that I can get into, that I actually like, and that maybe even might give me some money? These are all things that you can research. You'll find guides on the website. You can just basically Google college list, college essay guy. 3 tips to help save you some time and energy. Number 1, I want you to use my essay tracker, which I'll link below. It's basically a simple spreadsheet where you put the schools you're applying to and all the supplemental essays they require. You have it all in one place, and you can start to go in and look and go, okay, I'm gonna write maybe about like my improv comedy troupe. Could it be that this topic works for multiple different prompts? Because just doing a little planning ahead of time is, number 1, gonna help save you some time. But number 2 is probably gonna have you write better essays if they're essays that will work for multiple schools. And no, schools don't check with one another if you submitted the same essay for them. Second thing I wanna recommend is take some walks. And I mean this quite literally. Case in point, I was brainstorming this video today. I was writing, I was working on it, and I was like, all right, I wanna make one more point here. What should I do? And I took a walk, and I was thinking about this, and I was like, yeah, take walks. What do I mean? Actually move away from the thing that you're trying to do to try and get some perspective on it. I'm probably already preaching to the choir here. You probably already do this, but just getting your body moving, not focused on the particular thing, is a great way to get some perspective. If you want some accountability on this, use a Pomodoro timer. You can find these free apps all over the place, but basically it sets a little timer for some period of time, 15 minutes, 25 minutes, and then it dings and gives you a 5-minute break. You can get up, you can stretch, check your phone, whatever you need to do, and then dive back in. This is particularly useful for those of you who have ADHD or who have behavior that looks like ADHD. The last point I want to make is about procrastination. So I used to be a huge procrastinator. Part of it was linked to my perfectionism because I really wanted to get it perfect in the first go. Remember that great writing is rewriting. And if your personal statement's going to take 6 to 10 drafts, I would say go ahead and write an essay that's going to be your first draft so you can fast forward to that 6th draft, that 7th draft. Give yourself permission to get a B, especially if you're the kind of student who really wants to get an A every single time. You'll find tons more free resources at collegeessayguy.com. And if you'd like support through this process, whether you're just getting started in 9th or 10th grade and want college admission support, or if you're working on your college applications, we'd love to support you. We have an awesome team who'd love to help you out. We also have spots for low-income students through our Matchlighters program. That's all I got. Much love. Like, subscribe, you know the deal. See you soon.